Creating from the Heart, the Artistry of Living. I'm Suzy Vance, and tonight I'm here with Abby Stewart.
Yes.
Abby,
Yeah, hello.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's the end of a long day for Abby, I think.
Yes, it has been.
So, Abby, you work with a number of people who are very challenged.
Sure, that's a good way of putting it.
Tell me about your work. How did you get into this?
Absolutely. So I work with the homeless population, and when I first started was I was an intern at Keys to Hope Resource Center, and then I just fell in love with the population. I mean, within the population, you have a numerous type of barriers. We have people struggling with addiction, mental health, veterans. We have people who are elderly or families, people who come in with disabilities, those types of things.
Wow, that's a lot.
It can be.
And what do you do for them?
That's a great question again. So what I do is I just help them maintain their services. Really, I just help them mentor. Here at the Nest, we help with client coaches. So we kind of help mentoring them with setting realistic goals and those types of things.
Tell me what the Nest is.
The Nest is our local community shelter. For more information about the Nest, it would be nestcommunityshelter.org. And we're the only shelter within the 5 counties, actually. So we have a lot going on at the Nest, but we're really excited about the new changes.
That's great. And I love the new name.
Me too.
It really speaks to what you're doing.
It does indeed.
How did you get into this work?
For me, again, I was an intern at a local community college, finishing up with my degree. And
what was your degree?
So it was in human services, social work.
And how did you decide to do that? What triggered your interest?
I've always loved being a servant. I love serving the community. I've always loved engaging in individuals, trying to make a positive impact within my own community. So that's something that I've been really striving for.
And so here you are doing it to even a larger community.
Yeah.
How great is that?
Very, very much so.
And you are working for this wonderful place that provides a place for people to have a safe, comfortable, long night's sleep.
Yes.
And food.
And food, absolutely. So coming to the Nest, we have individuals who we want to meet them at where they are first most, and that can be challenging. So what we do is we provide them with our first important thing is safety, making sure that they're in a safe, warm environment, providing them with their needs first. So adding with meals in a safe, warm place to be at during the nighttime into the morning.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
So when you were younger, meaning when you were a kid, when you were early in high school, did you ever think you'd be doing something like this?
No, I actually did not. I was actually a football manager throughout my high school and middle school days, and I really wanted to be a sports therapist, those types of things. So just recently until my college days where I was really wanted to take a different avenue. So I still love sports.
What shifted that?
For me, it was just I was a leader for a local group helping high school students, as that was part of when I was in high school. And I had that mentorship throughout my years in high school. So I started doing the same thing when I graduated. And that led me to want to serve my community more. So I found different ways to serve my community. And in that time, I met with a lot of individuals and I was able to grow and learn myself.
That is, I think one of the most important things about life is to be curious.
Yes.
And if you're curious, you're willing to learn new things. You're willing to reach out of your comfort zone and say, maybe I'll try this.
Yeah.
So what was the first job you had trying this?
My first job trying this was when I was at Keys to Hope Resource Center, which we work very closely with. We work very closely with a lot of community
Still,
members.
yeah.
Yes, with the Nest. And I first was an intern, but then I became a program facilitator. So I helped facilitate programmings for the homeless individuals.
And what kind of programming is that?
So we kind of implemented just case by case action plans. We
Uh-huh.
implemented a lot of, gaining community members. We did a lot of, work with the local Grace Sorting Center where they attend classes at.
Right.
So we kind of put in that structure of what it looks like for them to go to a place to stay during the day so they can get their resources.
That's amazing. So now you are the coordinator of all of the volunteers. How many volunteers are there at the Nest?
Right now, we're looking at about 20. We would love
Mhm.
for it to be more. We really love volunteers because we want to engage the community of showing, hey, what the Nest, what the Nest does and what we support. So right now we're about 20, but in that 20, we have a few individuals who help with one of our programmings that is going to be named Flight School. And what that does,
What school?
Flight
Fight school?
Yep.
I love this.
Thank you. And what that does, it implements what we call our flight instructors or coaches per se, who do a little bit of case management work with a couple individuals,
Uh-huh.
a couple of the guests, and we help them, reach their goals, help them kind of just be that person to go to if they ever need any help throughout the week. And while we're doing that, we just hope that they're able to grow and get back into the community.
And I just want to be clear for the people who are watching this,
Mhm.
that when you're talking about guests,
Yes.
you're talking about the people that you help at the Nest.
Yes, we're
Right?
talking about the clientele.
Because the
Yes.
servants at the Nest
Mhm.
are people in the community who volunteer,
Absolutely. So
like I do.
yes, which we love very much so. So the servants per se, the volunteers are the ones who are coming in on a weekly basis.
And what do they do?
They are responsible for meeting, talking with the guests, but also they help with serving. So help serving dinners, which is really important
Uh-huh.
throughout the nighttime, getting connecting with the guests, but also making sure that the guests have a warm something to eat.
Do they also come in and do breakfast? Because they used to.
That's a great question. I believe that they still do so. We also have individuals come who help with the intake process.
Uh-huh.
So getting a person, in. We have
Who comes in at night, let's say at 5:30, signs in, you check them for COVID,
Mhm.
and then you do a bunch of different things, and they get all of their belongings and straighten things out. They get the same bedding that they had the night before, I
Yes.
think, if they happen to have been there more
Yes.
than one night. And so they set up their pads,
Mhm.
their mattresses. And my experience is that there can be as many as someplace between 25 and 30 in the men's section, and maybe not quite so much in the women's, although that seems to be growing.
Yeah, the numbers are growing. It's getting colder out here.
Mhm.
We are seeing it could be up to around that amount. We just have to be realistic about the stipulations and finding a place for individuals to go. It can't be too crowded.
Yeah.
So at times there it is hard to, have say, I'm so sorry, but we're full at this time.
Uh-huh.
That's a challenging a conversation to have with individuals.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But we're really good at accommodation, so we just want to make sure that it's possible for the ones that we have now.
And you're prepared to feed 40 people every night. It's just really amazing.
We are prepared to feed 40 people, and we couldn't do that without the community members. We
Mhm.
couldn't do it without the hospital and local.
So how does that work? I understand the hospital, they have food which is left over from,
It should be a leftover. They're all fresh, so it's leftover
Yeah.
from the day of.
okay.
And then we have individuals who come and pick that up from the hospital, and they
Mhm.
come and they, help prepare that before any of the staff members or any of the guests come in.
And then there's also, it seems to me that grocery stores and lots of different places donate
Oh
food.
yes, we always have plenty of donations.
And I know the Salvation Army, does the Rotary Club buys turkeys and hams, gives it to the casino. The casino prepares all of it, gives it back to the Salvation
Mhm.
Army. And then what's there often is stuff left after the Salvation Army uses it.
Yeah.
So then it comes to the homeless shelter right away.
Yes. And then we also
How
have
efficient is that?
it is a beautiful system.
Mhm.
Salvation Army has been wonderful with feeding our gentlemen and the women on our Mondays, which is very, very helpful. They come in, they're very lovely, and they help bring in that food for the night.
It's just really amazing. And then you give them breakfast in the morning, I heard.
Yeah, we do. It's a
Uh-huh.
light breakfast, but it's enough to keep them, stable throughout the day, so
Uh-huh.
starting their mornings off.
That's great. They get coffee, right?
They do get coffee. That is something that, what I need in the morning is coffee, and so we provide that as well.
So what's your favorite part of your day when you're working with these people?
My favorite part is recognizing and seeing the little strides, which I believe are more profound than the big ones. For example, the encouragement. Oftentimes, we see a lot of the guests who are down on their luck and just finding that little glimpse of encouragement and
Mhm.
happiness that they have is able to show that they're, getting more. They're feeling more helpful within their own selves to get on the right track.
It's really when I happen to do the Thursday night dinner, and my husband does the men who are downstairs.
Yep.
Or upstairs,
Upstairs.
and the women are downstairs. This is in an old church. Actually, we should tell our audience that this all began because of two women in a church who decided we should do something about the homeless population. And so they literally went around and got other churches to volunteer, and they moved mattresses and laundry and all that stuff every night. It went to a different place. And then there was a church in town that decided to fold.
Yeah.
And when they folded, others came in and said, let's make this our nest.
Yes.
And so the nest was born, and the women are in the basement area, the men are upstairs. And the mattresses don't have to be carried. The laundry can be done right there because they're two big laundry machines. There's a wonderful, huge kitchen, and it's like a gift to the community to be able to have a place like that for people to go. It's just, it leaves me speechless. When I walk out, I partly serve the people downstairs, the women, and then we bring the food upstairs on a conveyor, and then my husband and I and other volunteers serve the men, and then we get to say good night to all of them and to wish them, thank goodness, a peaceful night of sleep. And then they go back out in the world at 7 or 8 in the morning. That's it, till 5:30 at night. It's just, my hat goes off to people who survive under circumstances like that. And the other interesting thing that I think that you do is when you are counseling or coaching the people that you're working with, you're not just trying to help them get through their day. What you're trying to get them to do is to pull their lives together in some respect so that they can move to a different kind of existence.
Yeah.
And the most recent story I heard about that, because my husband could hardly wait to tell me, was that there was a young man and his father who were in the shelter. And the kind of coaching and counseling that you do help them get a job, save their money, get references, and get an apartment. That leaves me speechless because
Thank you.
that means there's hope in the world.
Thank you so much. It is a challenge, but also right when that light comes up and they feel it and they feel that everything kind of changes
The
and
accomplishment is
the
amazing.
accomplishment is very much, and so introducing them back into the community means
Right.
that they have that peace where they're able to have their home, have the means to be able to sustain their home too.
Right. Well, I think the work that you do is commendable.
Thank you.
So thanks for visiting with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Creating from the Heart, the Artistry of Living with Abby Stewart. See you next time. And in the meantime, if you should find someone who you think I should talk with, please let me know. Thank you.